If you want better chances at success, stress the behaviors that lead to the results. Don't stress the results. In other words, let's say you want to increase your knowledge. Don't say to yourself, I want to know more about the subject by the end of the year. Just say to yourself, I'm going to read 5 minutes every single day. When you stress the behaviors, the results happen. When you stress the results, oftentimes you don't get there.
I would take that a step further. I was thinking about this with obviously the new year being here and everybody talking about goals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I even like the idea of focusing on creating behaviors even more so than setting any goals.
100%.
Yeah.
It's just that, listen,
100%.
if you haven't read at all, setting this goal of, I'm going to read so many books this year, instead of doing that, just like, hey, why don't you just read a page a day or start with that and then catch the momentum after you've been doing that consistently for week in, week out, and then build upon that. And that same philosophy of reading applies to exercise, nutrition, and every other aspect.
Yeah, so instead of saying, I'm going to lose 30 pounds this year, or I'm going to get in better shape, say, okay, what are the behaviors that lead to this? And which of these behaviors do I know I can do? And let me just focus on those and not even worry about the goal anymore.
Yeah.
So maybe it's, okay, I want to lose 30 pounds this year. What can I do? And then you come down to it and you say, okay, well, I'm going to walk 10 minutes after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I'm going to do that every single day. And I'm going to avoid heavily processed foods 6 days a week. And I'm just going to focus on those things. I'm not going to worry about anything else. And then what ends up happening is the results, they come along, but it's the behaviors that lead to that. And it's the behaviors that stick around. That's where the success comes from.
You guys weren't in here yesterday when I talked to Doug. Were you guys in here when you and I told you what Katrina and I did for New Year's?
They weren't in here, no.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I didn't know you were going to go this direction, and I actually forgot about this until you just brought this up. So I'm going to pull it up so I can list them. Hopefully I can get there in time. Here we are. So Katrina and I did something a little bit different this year for our New Year's thing. And so what we did, and of course not pulling up, but I remember most of them, so it don't matter. We made a list of all of these behaviors that we want to do more of. And the idea was, and there's a list of about 10, and it is everything from a cold plunge to sauna to meditation to red light to exercise to go for a walk to read. All these, so there's about 10 of them of these behaviors. And so we set a goal to try and knock off at least 2 or 3 of these things every single day. 2 or 3.
That's it.
Yeah. And what we said was that we're not even going to hold ourselves accountable to that, but the goal is how long can we go into the year of never allowing a day to go by that we didn't do one of them.
Mm.
So yesterday we both did 3 different things in those categories, and like we checked in with each other at the end of night, and even
you guys put a sticker on like a board.
No, I mean like we know what they are. We have she has the list saved in her phone. One of them also was getting to bed by 9:30, which is tough for us to do, which we actually accomplished last night. And so we just made a list like that and said, hey, and now of course I would like to do all 10 every day, and there might be some days where I get all 10 in a day, but I didn't want to make this mistake of setting this goal of I'm going to do all 10 every single day. It's that here's a list of things I want to become behaviors in my life, and I'm going to try and set this thing where I do as many of them every single day. And what my real goal is to never allow a day go by that one of them.
So here's why there's so much brilliance in that.
Yeah,
and I know that that's based on your experience, right? Training clients and seeing what actually works. They actually did a study on this where they found that small, frequent successes led to more motivation and more of those motivated type feelings, which we're all looking for, right? When you feel motivated, it's easier to do the things that you think you need to do or you should do, right? When you feel unmotivated, it gets real tough. So what they found in the study was that small, frequent wins or successes was more effective at producing that state of mind than infrequent, large successes, okay? So you're better off doing little things on a daily basis where you actually accomplish them versus aiming for this one big thing and then maybe you hit it every once in a while. These small wins lead to the state of mind that is more conducive to success, which is that feel-good, motivated state of mind. So you're far better off with those small steps than you are with the trying to hit the bigger steps. This took me so long to figure out as a trainer. I wish I could go back in time for that first 7 to 8 years of training and train and teach people differently, because it was such a big game changer later on that my success rate quadrupled with my clients from just applying a strategy just like this one?
I know, same thing. We always focused on too big of goals and even trying to reduce it down. It wasn't based on those every single day activities, like the ones that it just takes very little friction to get involved and to do, but then it just seriously like transcends into bigger goals and bigger lifestyle changes that happen as a result, because it's just like a bit of that snowball effect that you just get from that.
Yeah, right. So I'll give you another example. This is a real clear one. I could say I'm going to cut my calories by 10%. I'm going to reduce my caloric intake by 10%. So that's a goal. Or I could say I am no longer going to eat while distracted. I'm not going to eat while I'm on my phone. I'm not going to eat while I'm watching TV or on the computer. When I eat, I'm going to eat, and I'm just going to be eating my food, and I'm going to be present. Now, what that does, studies show very consistently, it reduces your caloric intake by 10 to 15% by doing that. But it's a behavior. Rather than aiming for the 10% cut, I'm just going to change my behavior, the result of which being the automatic cut in calories. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see which one is more likely to be where you'll be successful. Which one are you more likely to be consistent?
One thing I did notice though too with clients is like they just weren't aware of a lot of their behaviors like that they would do on a daily basis.
Totally.
And would like almost their mind would play tricks on them to shield and hide a lot of these behaviors where they would quickly consume food and not even realize like how many that was that they actually ate, or they would whatever it was, like if they really thought they're getting 8 hours of sleep, they really kind of looked back at that and found that like only maybe 5 hours of it was quality sleep. They woke up and a couple times during the night. So I think like, really kind of taking into account an accurate assessment of what you do on a daily basis, like the most you do, like the habits that you repeat the most.
Yeah, you have to be, you have to try to consciously become aware.